Hello and welcome to Key Factors presented by theraceguide.com.au as we have a look at the great card of racing that is Golden Slipper Day at Rosehill Gardens. The Mutters, the Ducks, I don't know, call it what you like. You need to find horses that are going to get through the ground this weekend. It's going to be a heavy 10. The rain is circling Sydney, but we're here to find you some winners, Mike. How do we get through this one?
Wet. We're in the business of profiling horses, so the pressure is on. Can we find the Mutters? And to make it harder, ask any trainers out there. It's not only about Mutters. When it gets this heavy, you really fit strong horse as well. Yeah,
very, very true. So we've got to keep our eyes on the yard all day, definitely there on Saturday. But let's have a look at the conditions, Mike. It's rain, rain, rain. How many mils? Are you a gambling man on that?
We don't know. Usually the Bombs got it wrong the last couple of weeks, but the rain's already started on Thursday night. It's going to continue on Friday, continue on Saturday. There's going to be a lot. It's going to be very, very heavy if we go ahead indeed.
Yeah.
There'll be off rails. An easterly wind will help them swoop down the outside too.
All right, still managed to find a wind factor in there with all that rain. Okay, so such a great card of racing, obviously highlighted by the Golden Slipper. It's going to be a great day out there, but plenty of other racing to get the punters well involved here, Mike. Look at that. Group 1s, there's 5 of them. This is my favourite day, mate. How good?
Very good day. And just to make sure we get some tips in, we'll do race 1, race 2, before maybe it gets called off, and do 5, 6, 7 out of the Group 1. Some great features. The Ramvet Stakes, 2-horse race. We'll skip that one.
Yeah, it's going to be good to see. But let's have a look. So let's get it started nice and early. Race number 1. It is the Derby Munro Stakes over the 1,200 metres, listed level for the 3-year-olds. And we've got Private Eye, well supported him from $6, resuming here. 4 big wins on all surfaces over the summer, so a horse on the rise here. Isotope, $4.20, the Deep Field Queensland filly. Winner 4 from 8, saluted all of those in red figures as well. So one of the punters' horses. Doubtland at $5 on the next line. Brilliant winner of the Danehill, second up in the spring. Bolted in the heavy in just his second start, so we know he handles it. And of course, Prague, $6. Ran on well in the Newmarket, up the straight, second out. And then out to Andermatt at $8. Cross the line with On the Lead, which is $41 here behind the Smart Wild Ruler in the Fireball. But Private Eye, Mike, it's favourite here. And look, it's one of those horses that is on the rise.
Too short, though. Don't think it can win. Let's have a look at a couple of wet track replays, starting with Prague. We talk about tough horses. We talk about strong horses. This is last prep, Group 1, or 2 preps ago. Group 1, heavy track, strong tempo, gets to the front. How does he not win? He's so brave. And that 1,400 metre profile will help over 1,200 metres on Saturday.
Yeah, so $1.6 million was it, I think, this horse was worth?
He's a very good horse, and he kept getting better, and last prep, I think, put a line through it.
Okay, all right, let's have a look at Andermatt here. We just said $8 in the betting. Well, why? We know this horse can handle a heavy track. We're going back to May last year, and, well, it runs second this day here, Mike.
Yeah, second, very strong, heavy track. Second to a horse called Anders, and it rated well. Anders was basically unbeatable during this stage of its preparation. It flogged some of the horses that Prague raced against, so the ratings are very good. He was okay last start Andermatt, but it was a very firm track, and he obviously loves it heavy.
Yeah, some good replays we could have a look at. Isotope, good to see a few of those replays during the week.
Never seen the wet, though. Never seen the wet.
Very, very true. So hopefully a few favourites here we can take on nice and early in race number 1. But the form here, Mike, well, we've got a horse coming back from a decent race in Melbourne.
Yeah, Group 1 level form, Prague, light him up.
Okay, so there's Prague out in front, and as we keep your eyes on the top right-hand side of the screen here, we're running our own little mini race. Who is going to light up all the key factors here? We've got track distance and conditions to kick it off.
Yeah, this includes the heavy. Private Eye, I think maybe we're being a little bit kind to it. Doubtland's a mutter. Andermatt absolutely loves it. And Tommy Gold, the forgotten one, he's a swimmer as well. Okay,
so a lot of gold spread throughout the page there, Mike. What about the speed map early on the day?
We are putting the speed map in our back pocket. It shouldn't matter on Saturday too much.
Okay, that's not going to matter, but progression is that sort of key factor that we're going to keep our eye on Saturday.
Yeah, we're guessing Doubtland, big kicker second up. Lord Olympus can improve second up, and Holyfield, better than last prep based on the trials, but still some ground to make up.
Okay, so Doubtland levelled up to Prague and, of course, Andermatt there. So the ones we saw in the replays all featuring very heavily there in the key factors. Let's have a look now to bring all the ratings and odds in. And, well, I like this, Mike. We've seen a few replays there. We've found a couple at odds. And look, they've only got a length on this field, but I'm pretty sure that's always spoken about the whole way through.
Yeah, I like this race. I want to have a bet in this race, but I just can't split those top 3. Doubtland's so tough, Prague so tough, and Andermatt should love the wet. We'll go with Prague. Group 1 heavy track form is good enough for us, and the fact that he laps up 1,400 metres, I like that too. And the roughy Tommy Gold can place at huge odds just behind Andermatt last start.
All right, you've done all your wet track profiles there. So there is race 1 run and done. As we head to race number 2, it is the Manion Cup over the 2,400 metres, Group 3 level. And Sacramento is favourite yet again. Winner 3 of last 4 for Sammy Clipperton, and it's won 6 from 17 in total. Gapped a few of these over the 2,000 metres when beaten by Mount Popper last start. Collide there on the second line at $4.40. The Beaten Brigade at first Aussie run. Out in trip would be a positive here. Favourite Moon, $4.40. The UK travelling companion here for Team Haggis, having its first Australian start. The Doosdart, $8.50. Some nice money there on Thursday. The weather the better for the Irish import coming off his Canberra Cup placing. And then out to Quick Thinker, $9.50. Well, the Ming Dynasty in the Derby, that still rings true in my head, looking at that heavy track rating there, Mike. And Realm of Flowers, $10 on its way to the Sydney Cup. But Sacramento, gee, a few Sydney punters will be loving this horse of late.
So tough, on pace, 2,400 metres tick, but we'll see what we think of him on a wet track soon. Favourite Moon. When you first look at the form guide, you see $4.40, you see a good import, and you see this win and you think, yeah, I definitely want to be on this horse. But there is a but. This is a Haydock Park race. They were racing for, I think, a couple of grand, not much at all. He wins by a margin, but he got flogged next start, and the horse that came second got flogged next start too, Stu.
That is some beautiful research, mate. And all that time we spent in England, did you ever get to Haydock?
I didn't get to Haydock, but I would have if you invited me, mate. I love those random tracks.
I didn't either, mate. But let's keep it international because that's what brings the flavour to this race. We're looking at the Doosdart and we're having a look. Oh, good old Limerick on St Paddy's Day week.
Again, we looked at this replay a couple of weeks ago when he raced at Rosehill, and we didn't know much about this horse when he first came over from overseas, but we learnt about him now. Looking way back through his form, you can see 2,500 metres, heavy track. He just keeps lifting. This is proper form. It's listed level form. I think he's back to his best after that Canberra Cup second.
The Doosdart over the line. How good is that? A big hello to all the Irish viewers this week. It's been a big one for you, I'm sure. Let's have a look now to see where we're going to be playing here in the Manion Cup. The form, though, Sacramento, he's been very good to punters.
He's flying, and the Mount Popper form should hold up.
OK, so the favourite is the one they've got to catch. Track, distance and conditions. Here we go.
Big risk for Sacramento. He flopped last time. It was heavy. I think it was the Derby. The Doosdart should absolutely swim.
Well, there it is. That's what the key factors can tell you. It has just bolted out there in the terms of track, distance and conditions. What about the speed map?
Burn those speed maps. They're useless on Saturday.
It looks as though we're going to be flying through the speed map key factor all night. And, well, who's got progression here?
Well, Collide can definitely improve second up. Quiet Ride first up. I think he'll improve. Quick Thinker could improve as well. And Hush Ride and Raheen House got upside as well.
OK, well, the Doosdart, it went straight ahead in the first key factor there, Mike. It pretty much stayed there the whole race. Where are we going to be heading here? Because these just haven't really caught up, have they?
No, there's a big margin to the Doosdart, and we know he's decent odds, though.
All right, well, let's bring those odds back in because there's so much international flavour in this race, mate. A big yard watch as well for the Haggis runner. And, of course, we've laid our eyes on all of that international form. But the Doosdart, the Irish horse, $8.50. Canberra Cup, Mike. Did you back it that day?
I did a little bit, I think. Not much. Favourite Moon. If Haydock Park form holds up, I'm done. Sacramento, heavy track. No, Collide can do something, but he was $2.50. The one race he had on a heavy track and he was beaten into fourth, so I don't like that at the odds. The Doosdart each way all day for us.
All right, the Doosdart there early in the day. After the break, plenty of big racing coming up, including the Group 1 Golden Slipper. Welcome back to Key Factors, presented by theraceguide.com.au as we have a look at the great card of racing this Saturday, and we are 2 down. Now we're up to the Rosehill Guineas. What a race this is going to be. Over the 2,000 metres. Group 1 set weights for the 3-year-olds, and Mounga, $2.60 favourite. No luck in behind Lions Roar in the Randwick Guineas. Out in trip now, should suit this horse, and of course Lions Roar, who's $4.40. That was a big win last start. Montefilia got home well fresh in the surround over the 1,400 metres. It's $5. Wheelhouse, $9. Strong off the wide run in the Randwick Guineas, so all that form looks to be holding up here. And then out to Luna Fox, 301 Australian Guineas winner. What a price that was that day, Mike. Could you have had $1 on?
No, I couldn't have. I couldn't have had that. But I did have Mo'unga last start, and we're going to have a watch to that replay and see what we think of this horse. New Zealand bred, very strong, always finds the line, got back into a tricky spot on the inside, got held up, and unfortunately after he got held up, Tommy Berry just juggled the whip, so he also got on heels as well. So you see 2 flags in the race, got held up to the 200 metres and also had to pull off heels. He was so strong late. He should have won, but will he handle the wet track on Saturday? That's the question.
Yeah, well, that's what we're going to have to look at all the horse profiling for, Mike. And, well, I guess, end of the day, how strong was this edition of the Rosehill, of the Randwick Guineas?
I think it was solid, but it's definitely not unbeatable, but the top 2 were dominant.
OK, well, there is we had to look so many to look through in that race. Obviously, the natural progression here into the Rosehill Guineas, out in trip to the 2,000 metres. So, let's try and help you, try and find a winner here. Mo'unga, so sharp there. It was a great finish. Lions Roars right there, Mike, but you're going with Mo'unga for the form.
Well, you have to, don't you? You've got to give him at least 2 or 3 lengths for that. He probably should have won easily. Light up Mo'unga.
All right, it would have helped you with your futures bets too, with a few of these, I'm sure. Mo'unga, there it goes again, track distance and conditions.
I hope he handles it, but we're giving him a kicker. He's bred from Savabeel and he did win on a heavy 10, but that was against a weak field and his dam did fail twice on the wet, so it's a gold bar for Mo'unga with a big orange question mark next to it.
Interesting.
I just don't know, but the 2,000 metres, he'll love it.
OK, speed map, we're just going to run through this one again.
You got it.
There we go, straight through. So Mo'unga out by a couple of lengths from the second favourite in Lions Roar, and progression here.
Yeah, they're all being prepped for this. Mo'unga, Lions Roar, Montefiore, all improving, but will Montefiore be fit enough for a heavy 10 second up 2,000 metres? That's the question. All
right, that says Randwick Guineas form to me. Mo'unga by 2 lengths to its conqueror there in the Randwick Guineas. That's all the form lines pretty much stacking up into this race. So, is it that cut and dry, Mike? $2.60 here. Look, that price has absolutely come in this week. We know that. Lions Raw, $4.40. Where's the value for a drum? We've got the Melbourne visitors here as well. Can you see any love? Any love for Quay there at $16?
Well, I think he can do something. I don't think the Randwick Guineas form is unbeatable, but I think it's the strongest way to go. Yep. And look, Mo'unga's the tip, but I'm just not 100% sure on a wet track. If he gets out to about 3.20, maybe I'll back him. But 2.60, yep. About right, I think. OK, so Mo'unga there in the Rosehill Guineas this weekend, which takes us to race number 6, and it is the George Rider over the 1,500 metres at weight for age, and no Very Elegant to chase this week for a few of these, including Funstar. $3.80 was brave on the inside in the Chipping Norton. Always around the best horses now. Very Elegant, of course, Colding, Colette, Mugatoo. Colding's right there, $4.40, led them up there in the Chipping Norton. Avilius, where did that run come from? I remember him bolting in the Ranvet, the Tancred double here 2 years ago in the mud. Let's see if he can recapture a bit of his best form. And then it's out to Dreamforce, stepping out in trip after his resumption in the Canterbury Stakes. And, well, 380, 440, 440. We've got the quality horses here, Mike. They're the ones that are dominating this market. Yeah, they're very good horses, very hard to beat. And this is an interesting replay. 2 heavy track replays again. Golden Eagle, probably the closest thing we'll get to Saturday. Absolutely bottomless with a bit more tempo. Is Dawn Passage still priced on the fact that people thought he was a dry tracker before this? Because he was wide, no cover, he got to the front and he stuck on so well, Stu. And Funstar did absolutely naught. No, nothing really abnormal there in the Stewards report either. No, I think we fell into that trap too, Mike. We had Dawn Passage as a bit of a dry tracker. Bit of a dry tracker, but the thing about this horse is when it gets very, very heavy, he's so tough. Maybe he gets through it better than others. OK, well, we know one horse that will get through it this weekend. Why? It's because he's been there and done it all before. Not last year, but back in 2019. We're talking about Avilius. This was the Ranvet, and this was part of a real winning double in a couple of weeks. Well, we weren't sure he was going to restay the 2,400 metres after this, and maybe he just loves heavy track. He's not the biggest horse in the world, so it doesn't take much to get fit. He was very good first up at Group 1 level. And the thing about this horse, while he's a bit slow to jump, he can sprint really well on a wet track, which brings him right into the race 200 metres out. And I reckon Nash does the rest. Yeah, it'd be good to see a good horse like him return to his best, as we saw in that replay. Let's see. Let's have a look now at all the key factors. Mike, there's so much form coming from that Chipping Norton, and, well, that pretty much says we can't split it. We can't split them, so 3 gold bars for the Group 1 form. All right, but hopefully track distance and conditions we can, and there's a bit of love for Avilius. Boom, Avilius will like it much more than the other two. Dawn Passage, that replay was pretty strong, wasn't it?
It absolutely sure was. What about the speed map here, Mike? I know we've rushed through it, but still no love here.
Well, I think if it was a dry track, Rosehill, Avilius back on the inside would be a big risk, but heavy track, fine.
Okay, so it is Avilius still well out in front here. We're looking like we're having a bet. And Dawn Passage with a little bit of progression.
Dawn Passage can improve second up, and Cascading can improve second up. He doesn't mind the wet. He can place, but I'm not sure if he can win, Stu.
I'm sure he might be running on around the placings there, but he's going to have to be good to beat Avilius because that horse just went see you later. Nice and early there in the key factors. Let's bring all the odds in here, Mike, because 440 might be looking like a bet by the sounds of this. Dawn Passage, though, as you said, a little bit underrated and still underrated in the market.
Well, this just looks so obvious, this race. Colding, no fun start. I don't think she's tough enough. Cascadian, I don't mind him, but him to win, I'm not sure. Avilius, Dawn Passage, Avilius, back them both.
Yep.
Top two, I think.
All right, some nice confidence there in the rider, but it's Avilius for us as the best bet. And, well, that leaves us with the Golden Slipper. The gates will crash back. The crowd will roar. It's always a great day out there. Let's have a look at the market. Profiteer, some sustained betting all week into $3.50 favourite. The Capitalist Colt lost his unbeaten record in the Todman to Animo. He's a fast horse and he flies the gates. That's what trainer Mick Price had to say this week. That pretty much sets it up for a slipper win. Stay inside, $5. Extreme Choice Colt had no luck in behind them last week. Big winner at Randwick in the Piero, the start prior in soft conditions. 4 moves ahead, the only other one under double figures, $5.50. 2 from 2 for the Schnitzel filly, the Sweet Embrace winner. And then it's out to Artorius, the Flying Artie Colt, came from a long way back in winning the Blue Diamond. And the form is stacked up with Animo obviously winning the Todman. And then it's out to O President, also on that $11 line, Mike. But Profiteer, the money has come.
The money is coming. I've got no knocks on his wet track profile, and this is him last start, first start in Sydney. 1,200 metres rock hard track, and Bowman just held him up a bit. So he was a bit keen mid-race, which let the others get close to him. He still fought on well for second. Animo stamped that Blue Diamond form. What a horse he is running on late. Home Affairs, much better on a firm track. I think the wet's a risk. And stay inside. I know he was held up. I know he won on a soft track, but just the last 100 metres, he could have done a bit more maybe.
Okay, and so Mike, I guess the big question here with Profiteer, 1,200, that's on a good track. We're obviously looking at something completely different on Saturday.
Yeah, but it's still 1,200 metres.
Very good point. Okay, 4 moves ahead. Gotta love the way this horse just sort of kicked away here. We've got Mallory chasing as well. Can this win a Golden Slipper off this?
Definitely can win a Golden Slipper. It's a very strong tempo this day. Hits the lead 300 metres out. That's a terrible setup for a young 2-year-old, but it still hangs on. Some people make a case for Mallory, but Mallory had more favours, even though she was pushed wide on the turn. She was back off that strong tempo. 4 moves ahead. Profile as a swimmer. I think she'll lap it up on Saturday.
All right, yeah, you make a very good point there. 2-year-olds hitting the lead there at that 300-metre mark. It can end in tragedy, but it wasn't there, Mike. And, well, let's have a look at another replay here because we've got so many to get through. Let's go to the Magic Millions 2-year-old Classic, and, well, Queen of Wizardry slides into the field.
Queen of Wizardry, why not? Gets up the inside, bias against, runs an honest fourth. Could love the wet track. She can do something on Saturday. A good place bet for Mum. Shakiro, look, I know he fouled on a wet track 2 starts ago, but he improves into his prep. He likes the backup, and he did win a trial on a soft 7 easily. He looks well overs for a horse that's got pretty good form. Yeah,
the Queenslander's always underrated in the Golden Slipper. Okay, Blue Diamond form, Mike. This is obviously stacked up. We've got Animo coming through here, and of course, Artorius. What a barnstorming finish this was.
Artorius, very good. Animo had excuses and ingratiating. He's the one that I could spec on a wet track. He's got wet track profile. His dam came 10th in a Golden Slipper before. All 3 of them very strong. He should be strong through the line on Saturday. Okay, that's what we might want there late in the day on Saturday on the heavy 10 if, of course, we get through the race meeting. Let's have a look now, Mike. That has been a lot of replays to get through. And the form, well, that's telling us there's really not too much between these. Well, I wasn't that excited to be about the slipper a couple of weeks ago, to be honest, but now I am. Profiteer, Artorius, Animo, light them up. Okay, they're the ones. Track, distance and conditions. You've only got 2-year-old form to go through. No, Home Affairs won't like it at all. Big, strong, muscular type, I'm invincible. No, Artorius, soft track run might have been his worst. He could be okay, but a bit of a risk. Okay, so we've ruled out a couple there with the conditions. Well, the map here, still no goal. Well, the couple drawn very wide. That's obviously not ideal, but it's going to be so heavy, I'm just not going to play it. Okay, and look, a few interesting preparations here. We saw those replays from the Queensland horses, so progression. Take us through this. Yeah, Shakiro, ingratiating, this has been planned. The back up into the Golden Slipper, they can improve off that. And Profiteer, just a bit keen and fresh off the fresh, and he can improve as well.
Okay, so Profiteer, 4 moves ahead, and of course, Animo. You can't question a horse that absolutely smashes the line. We know it can do that. A few others lining up in behind here, Mike. So, look, we got 2 of the favourites in there, so they're right in our mix. Animo seems to be forgotten again, but what is its target? Stay inside, seems to get a very good run, and well, a little bit of value here for the Queenslander and Ingratiating.
This is so hard. This race is so open. If you like anything that was on the page
Have
there,
a go.
Just go for it. We're betting on 2 horses, 4 moves ahead. Looks like the mudder. We've seen her on the mud and she loves it. And Ingratiating profiles like he could love the mud. So here's a roughie we're going for too.
All right, good luck to all connections there. What a race it is going to be, but it is 4 moves ahead for us. There's a look at 5 of the big races on Saturday. Plenty more coming after the break, including the $100 hot seat for the day. Welcome back to Key Factors, presented by theraceguide.com.au. What a salivating mouth race card it's going to be there on the weekend. But, Mike, we might have tipped a slipper winner. We might have tipped a Manion Cup winner. But, hey, there's plenty more on the day. The rain has come. I know you've been so far into that form guide this week with all the profiles. Who are the mudders, mate?
Well, I was hoping to find something at 20s, 30s, 40s that would absolutely love a heavy track, but... No, there's nothing
no value
there. There's
here.
no mass. Well, there's always value, Stu. There's always value. Let's not start that conversation. There's just no big odds. Prague, so tough at $6. To Doosdar, that European form's too good at $8.50. Volpine on pace. Why can't she win again? Adabe, unfortunately, I think she thinks the local favourite very early, and he's just too good. Moanga, I like him, but the wet track, I'm guessing Avilius just wins at 4.40. 4 moves ahead to Swimmer. Eduardo as well, and she's ideal down the outside. The punters might need it, even though it's 3.50, race 9.
Late in the day. Avilius just wins 4.40. Sounds like there's some confidence through that, Mike.
Faith in Nash.
Let's have a look at the $100 hot seat now, because there's going to be a lot of punters out there this weekend. They might not want to play in every race. I know we usually go pretty wide here, but these are the 2. We saw some great replays on these, and you're sticking solid.
I say the word just wins, and then the little letters E and W appear on the screen each way. Maybe my confidence is a bit too high, but to Doosdar, Avilius, 2 absolute swimmers, 2 absolute ducks, no matter which way you look at it.
Yep.
2 from 2 on heavy, each of them. Back them both each way.
Okay, and that will get the profit back into positive. Mike, let's have a look, because my brother has got a part share in Kobe Star running in the Rosehill Guineas. He's beaten us to the punch.
Yeah, he's got that Group 1 runner. He might run top 5 or 6. We'll be cheering for sure, Stu.
Good luck to all the connections out there on the weekend. It's going to be a fantastic Golden Slipper day. Head to theraceguide.com.au for all your feature profiling this weekend, and good luck on the punt.
Good luck for the slipper.